Good morning. It's Monday, the 22nd of December, the start of Christmas week, and a Merry Christmas to everybody out there. What an amazing speech that Vladimir Putin did to the nation in Russia. Very, very important that he spoke so much about the decay of the West and what's happened, and how this war that's going on at the moment is not a conventional war. It's not what you think it is. This is a war for our souls. This is a war for humanity. And he made it very, very clear. He went through a number of things that I found very, very fascinating. The defense of human consciousness. He wants to defend our human consciousness, our values and our faith, which is what the old system is trying to destroy. It's trying to destroy it through fear, through psychological pressure and manipulation of thoughts. And he spoke about the hidden systems that are put out there to do exactly that. People's minds are being overwhelmed, their clarity weakened, their sense of purpose distorted. Families are under attack. Moral structures are being dismantled. Food standards are being engineered in unnatural ways. Russia is moving towards natural, organic ways of living and production of its own food and self-sufficiency. That's not what the West want. They wanted their genetically modified stuff in the system. He's saying no. This is what the war is about. Depends on which side of the fence you want to be. We live in a world of free will, free choice. I know which side I'm choosing. Which side are you? Good morning and welcome, Paul and Drew.
Good morning, everybody, and it's feeling a lot more festive now as we reach closer to Christmas. My first story. The US is reportedly chasing down a third oil tanker linked to Venezuela in under 2 weeks. According to media reports, the Coast Guard is in active pursuit of a vessel in the Caribbean, accused of sailing under a false flag to dodge US sanctions. If seized, it would follow 2 recent tanker interceptions, a move Venezuela is calling piracy, while Washington says it's enforcing the law.
Well, this is all part of the distraction. And for those people who think that the world is real right now, you're watching a movie. This is all pantomime. This is all to distract us. We're watching the old system collapse and the new system emerge. And it has to be done this way. Otherwise, there will be civil war. And we're seeing how the deep state and the cabal, the old system, are putting up one hell of a fight to hang on to power. It won't happen. For those people who know what's going on, it's already been done. So we've seen it happen. We're now seeing it play out. This is why we're very peaceful in our way in life, because it's all been done. Nothing can stop what's coming. Drew.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, everyone. Now, part of the pantomime, I have a juicy one for you guys. Allegedly, online circles report Erica Kirk had multiple affairs on her late husband, Charlie Kirk, who was preparing divorce papers before his September the 10th, 2025 assassination. Claims also include her being 12 weeks pregnant. Noting his death was about 15 weeks ago, prior contacts with Mossad, and profiting from his death without handing over his phone to investigators. This ties to speculation Kirk was shifting critically on Israelis' Gaza policies and AIPAC influence. If it walks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, well, Erica Kirk has some explaining to do. The millions of patriots who loved Charlie and everything he stood for and did for the conservative movement demand the truth and justice for Charlie Kirk.
You don't need to be a rocket scientist to see what's going on. The one thing about Charlie Kirk, and I didn't know him, I've never met him, but he was out there communicating with the other side, willing to have a discussion. And that's what we need, to be able to talk to one another. and see other people's perspectives. And he was doing that. But it became very, very clear that the moment he said anything derogatory about Israel or about the Jews, everything changed. Allegedly. Now, from my own personal research, Erica Kirk was planted there on purpose. That's my own personal thought. She was planted there by Israel, by Mossad, by whatever, whoever they be, to try to move him in their direction. This is how they work. And there's a lot of stuff coming out. The truth will always come out in the end. Who made her pregnant? Well, we've heard rumours of that one too. We'll have to wait and see. The evidence will always come out in the end. And of course, God knows. God knows exactly what went on there. My next story is very interesting for me because I'm British. And the housing market in the UK has collapsed, and yet nobody talks about it. The average house price in the UK has dropped by 23% in 12 months. And Zoopla, which is the largest website for houses for sale in the UK, mysteriously removed 87,000 properties in the last week. Why? I'll tell you why. Because it goes against the government's narrative. So it shows the government has control over Zoopla. These are the facts rather than the narrative that's put out by mainstream media. If you want to know the truth, we put out the news every single day, Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sundays we spend with our families, as we should do. So if you want to know the truth, come to charlieward.com, see the news daily, and join the Insiders Club. The Insiders Club is on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Paul.
My next story. Well, self-driving cars. What a thing they're going to be. Or maybe they're not. San Francisco just learned what happens when the future runs out of electricity. After a massive blackout hit the city, Waymo self-driving cars froze mid-street, blocking intersections with hazard lights flashing and passengers stuck inside. Traffic lights went dark, 125,000 people lost power, and officials blamed a substation fire. Well, self-driving cars, eh, Charlie?
Well, I've always been against them because I play golf. And when I play golf, you get in the buggy and you can only go here, you can only go there. And when the system goes down, you can't go anywhere. And that's the same with self-driving cars. It's the same with everything. It's the same with digital ID. Digital ID, when the system goes down, is absolutely worthless. You actually need a driving license or a passport, like you did in the old days. And this is just a little wake-up call in the movie to say to people, this is why you should stand up against it. Drew?
Next up, BRICS ditches dollar for gold. Bloc now controls 50% of global supply. Platinum prices have surged to the highest level in 17 years. 2025 is shaping up to be a standout year, with platinum, gold and silver all reaching all-time highs. Demand for safe haven and scarce assets is clearly back on the table. Charlie, if people listened to you 5 years ago, they would be very rich.
Well, we told you this was going to happen. It wasn't a guess. When you see the world's economy collapsing, you see the dollar collapsing, you see the euro collapsing, you see the pound collapsing. When these things happen in history for hundreds of years, gold and silver is where you put your money. It's not rocket science. And those who listened have done very, very well. And if you've done very, very well, you'll be having a wonderful Christmas. And I will wish you a wonderful Christmas week this week. Have a wonderful time with your family. This is all about family. You're sometimes going to see family that you haven't seen for a year. Enjoy them. They're God-given gifts. That was the news on the 22nd of December 2025. Have a wonderful week.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Noble Gold. Real assets. Real value.